Now on CoastTV News.
Audit sparks alarm. Why a Slaughter Beach Fire Company's records raise serious red flags. Bypass complete. A look at the $140 million project aimed at easing Millsboro traffic. Ocean's Calling returns. Big crowds, live music, and beachside vibes hit Ocean City this weekend.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Damp, muggy start, seeing a last batch of showers push through the southern portion of the peninsula. We are looking at drier conditions this afternoon, but an unsettled weekend. I'll have details next.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour. It is Friday, September 26th. This is a big weekend on the coast. The Ocean Calling Music Festival kicks off today. A couple of our co-workers are headed there this weekend, and we're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono because, Chris, I know everyone going to that concert wants to know what their weather is going to be like. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Elisa. Yeah, big weekend there in Ocean City. Now we're going to be a bit unsettled. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. And we are seeing a batch of rain push through the region this morning, particularly in the southern portion of the peninsula through Crisfield, west over Chickateague, seeing some rain, some light to moderate rainfall pushing through Smith Island, the heaviest rain, and even a few embedded thunderstorms in southern portions of Accomack County all the way down through Norfolk. And this is continuing to push to the northeast, and it's all part of this cold front that's going to be sliding to our south through the morning and stalling out just to the south of Delmarva. Dealing with some patchy fog this morning, primarily south of Salisbury. Some use caution out there, dealing with some slick roads, especially for the southern half of the peninsula. 72 in Salisbury, a mild muggy start. 73 in Lewis. We're at 69, right into 71. Millsboro, dew points still pretty much in the lower 70s, so feeling quite tropical out there, but we are going to be improving through the morning and afternoon. Expecting sunshine this afternoon and a pretty decent day, but the weekend will be cloudy, damp. We're looking at a period of rain late Saturday through Sunday, and keeping an eye on the tropics. We have a newly named hurricane in the Atlantics. So there's that wet start. Partly cloudy skies through the late morning into the afternoon, and temperatures are going to rebound into the upper 70s to lower 80s. We'll talk about that all-important weekend forecast a little later on in the newscast. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour concerns over how a fire company in Slaughter Beach handled its money. A state performance audit found that the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company did not follow certain policies, kept poor expense records, and lacked strong oversight. The review covered 2021 through 23, a period when state officials say the company received more than $2.6 million in state funding. Fire Chief Kent Glasgow told CoastTV the issues began under previous leadership and that corrective actions have already been taken to improve transparency and strengthen financial integrity. And this just in, the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says current leadership has already enforced several changes, according to a new statement from the agency. Some of those changes include hiring an independent accounting firm to manage payroll and more, mandating supporting paperwork and a review of all major expenses, and more oversight on the annual budget. The Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says, quote, "These changes ensure the MVFC remains accountable to our community, our members, and our funding partners," end quote. New this morning, paychecks and public safety are the focus today as Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is expected to sign 2 bills into law. According to his office, the first, House Bill 105, mandates most employers to list salaries and benefits in job postings. The second is House Bill 136. Delaware lawmakers say this increases enforcement against unlicensed massage and bodywork establishments. On your screen now is the North Millsboro bypass. DelDOT held a ribbon cutting on Monday, but the rain delayed that opening of the roadway until Thursday night. The bypass stretches over the Millsboro Pond and has 4 bridges. Construction on the massive project lasted just over 2 years, with the cost reaching past over $140 million. DelDOT says this will ease the congestion in downtown Millsboro, and when Millsboro Local says the bypass being done should make it easier to get around.
It's utilized the way it's supposed to be. A lot of the truck traffic will be diverted, and a lot of the vacation traffic.
The bypass is expected to fully open this morning. However, according to DelDOT, after the bypass opens, there will still be intermittent lane closures as final road striping is complete. And this is now going to bring us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, What will you use the bypass for most? And so far, 47% of voters say rarely use it, 33% say to skip the downtown area, 19% a faster commute, and 1% truck route. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so on our CoastTV.com or over on our mobile app. We are now taking a live look outside of Ocean City this morning. Thousands of people are heading here today for a major music festival. And happening today in Ocean City, the town expects to see around 50,000 people at the big music festival. Today marks the start of Ocean's Calling 2025. On your screen now is a look inside the three-day event. On Thursday, there was still work to be done before gates open. Crews could be seen making final preparations, and town leaders are expecting waves of people.
We're looking forward to a huge weekend here in Ocean City. We have 55,000 guests that will be down here for 3 days. We're kicking off Friday night.
And businesses near the event tell us they're excited for those big crowds. And the Ocean's Calling Information Toolkit has been released. Organizers shared updated details to help concert goers plan ahead. For those planning on taking an Uber, Lyft, or other rideshare service, the pickup and drop-off lot is at the 4th Street Municipal Lot. Power has been restored at Grand Central Station following an outage on Thursday. Officials say Grand Central Terminal experienced a drop in voltage to the feeder network around 8:30 p.m. that resulted in lights going out in portions of the building. MTA officials say no injuries were reported, but 5 Metro North Railroad employees were briefly in elevators that stopped without electricity until doors were opened and emergency generators were activated. Stormwater and flooding are back in focus in Bethany Beach today. Town manager is expected to provide an update to its stormwater and flood resilience projects. According to the agenda, that includes progress on the Loop Canal and Assawoman Canal Flap Dam, construction on a new Loop Canal bulkhead set to begin soon, and plans for a living shoreline are moving closer to the bidding phase. The Bethany Beach Stormwater and Flood Committee gathers at 2 o'clock. New this morning in Dewey Beach, commissioners are expected to choose a new mayor. That is according to the agenda for this afternoon's town council meeting. Commissioners are set to vote on appointing the mayor for a 1-year term, followed by a swearing-in ceremony. Also on the table, an ordinance to repeal the town's alarm code while keeping false alarm violations as a civil offense. There is also a proposal for the Planning and Zoning Commission to look at setting a mandatory minimum number of trees required for new construction projects. New overnight, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted, charged with making a false statement and obstruction. The unprecedented move comes days after President Trump publicly suggested Attorney General Pam Bondi should move forward with prosecutions against Comey and other political adversaries. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how Comey is responding.
Incidences of obstruction of justice.
This morning, a former director of the FBI waking up as a felony defendant. James Comey now indicted by a grand jury on charges of making a false statement and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. It is a major escalation against someone President Trump sees as a political enemy.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump.
Comey posting this video overnight.
And I'm innocent, so let's have a trial.
As the president celebrated the news with the words, "Justice in America." The charges stem from congressional testimony Comey gave in September 2020 when he was pressed over whether he lied to Congress years earlier about authorizing a leak to the press involving investigations into Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
I stand by what the testimony you summarized.
The statute of limitations for the charges was set to run out next week. On Saturday, President Trump publicly pressed Attorney General Pam Bondi to take action against Comey and other perceived political opponents who've investigated him. Yesterday, before the indictment, saying this.
I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so. I can only say that Comey's a bad person.
The top prosecutor tasked with leading the Comey investigation resigned last week rather than seeking an indictment, while a senior DOJ official tells NBC News career prosecutors laid out why they believe there was not enough evidence to charge in a memo to President Trump's hand-picked replacement and former personal attorney Lindsay Halligan, who has no experience as a prosecutor and is now the only one to sign Comey's charging papers. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started this morning on Coast TV News Today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, helping Delaware's Heroes, a resource fair aimed to give veterans boost in job seeking. We'll tell you why the Department of Labor says these kinds of events are important. And Stamp Price Update will tell you the new announcement from the U.S. Postal Service that could mean relief for your wallet. And Car Seat Safety will tell you how to ensure the proper installation this weekend in Delaware. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva, as we take a live look into Salisbury. A rainy start for us there. We're seeing the rainfall from our tidal health cam. We see the wet roads there. We're going to be dealing with the showers at least through the next few hours there. 72 degrees, and you can see after about 8 o'clock, we'll begin to see that rain come to an end. We have some light to moderate rainfall falling from Salisbury down through Crisfield and Smith Island into Chickatee. Heavier batch of rain pushing into southern Accomack County, right over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and Tunnel there. Rough morning there, but this area is going to be pushing off the coast here over the next few hours as this cold front sinks to the south. It's a muggy, damp start, 72 Long Neck, 73 in Rehoboth. We're at 71 in Seaford. Now, if you're making your way out to Oceans Calling this weekend, I would say tonight is probably the better of the three. We are looking at a period of rain rolling in late Saturday through Sunday. I think we'll be okay Sunday night as well, but a rather damp and dreary weekend ahead. We'll talk more about the tropics that could impact our weather early next week, coming up in that full 70 forecast. Elisa.
All right, thank you, Chris. BB Healthcare is announcing they will host a series of community flu shot clinics across Sussex County. The clinics will run through early November. The upcoming 3 clinic dates are September 27th in Millsboro at Long Neck Methodist Church, September 30th in Rehoboth Beach at the Village Improvement Association, and October 1st in Lewis at the Cape Pharmacy. Appointments are not required to participate, and participating members are asked to bring identification and insurance documentation. And for a complete list of dates and locations, head to the article on our website, coasttv.com. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is holding a national seat check tomorrow, September 27th, at the Bay Health Sussex campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They say the event is designed to help ensure that car seats are installed correctly and are appropriate for a child's age, height, and weight. Cambridge City Manager Glenn Steckman is announcing office hours for tomorrow, September 27th at City Hall. He says his availability will be from 9 a.m. to noon, and you can either stop by or email him to make an appointment. Steckman says he is looking to make Saturday office hours a monthly occasion for people unable to get to City Hall during the week. The White House is rolling out new tariffs on a wide range of products from household goods to heavy trucks. President Trump announced a 50% tariff on imported kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and related products. Upholstered furniture will now face a 30% tariff. Trump also imposed a 25% tariff on imported heavy trucks, citing concerns about foreign competition. The United States Postal Service says prices will not rise again at the beginning of next year. The Postal Service announced the price for market-dominant products, including first-class mail, will not increase this January. In addition, the price of a first-class stamp will hold where it is at 78 cents into early 2026. The Postmaster General says there won't be a price change until mid-next year.
Well, our Maryland and Virginia counties waking up to some rain this morning, and it's going to be a damp, muggy start. Temperatures upper 60s to lower 70s, but we are going to see improving conditions by the afternoon, but an unsettled weekend lurks. We'll talk more about that and have a look at the tropics that could play a role in our weather early next week, coming up just after the break on Coast TV News Today.
The time is now 5:18, and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. And Chris, we've mentioned it all week. This is the first week of fall, and it has not felt like the first week of fall. I think this week was warmer than some of those last weeks of summertime.
I mean, yeah, it was incredible. It's been a warm week. Temperatures in the 80s, very muggy as well, but we are going to see some changes to our temperatures and the forecast into next week. We're dealing with some rain this morning, especially southern portions of the peninsula from southern Sussex County on southward, seeing some light to moderate rainfall from Salisbury down through Crisfield. The heaviest rain south of Chickatee, seeing a pretty good thunderstorm there, passed through like the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay there, but this cold front's going to be sliding southward through the weekend. Temperatures right now, it is a mild and muggy start, 70 71, Long Neck 73, Bethany Beach, we're at 71 in Delmarva. Winds are shifting more out of the west to northwest as this cold front passes through. So dew points are still in the 70s at this hour, and we're going to stay rather muggy here over the course of the next 3 to 4 days as we tap into some tropical-like moisture, and then look at that humidity take a plunge next week, and then it's really going to be starting to feel like autumn around here. So we'll shed the showers here through about 7, 8 o'clock, and then by the afternoon, much improved with a mix of sun and clouds, a gorgeous afternoon, and then looking pretty good for football this evening for any high school games. Mostly cloudy skies overnight as we dip into the upper 60s to lower 70s. So highs today, upper 70s, lower 80s at the coast, lower 80s inland through the eastern shore. And if you're making your way out to games tonight, we're going to be dry, pleasant with a mix of clouds and stars, temperatures falling into the 60s through about halftime. We see rain chances ramp up Saturday night into Sunday, and then still some question marks how we're going to tap into some tropical-like moisture early next week. So we're dry to start our Saturday, a lot of clouds, but notice as we go into the afternoon, some moderate to heavier rainfall, even a few rumbles of thunder are possible through late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, even at through Ocean City, down through Rehoboth Beach, and then by Sunday, a lot of clouds, mostly dry conditions. We could see a spotty shower as we make our way into Sunday, but the best chance of rain comes Saturday night through Sunday morning. We have a new we have a new hurricane, Hurricane Umberto, just intensified into a hurricane at the latest advisory, expected to become a major Category 4 hurricane through the tail end of the weekend, eventually going to curve away from the coast, but still a lot of question marks what's going to happen with this system. This area of low pressure over the greater Antilles, this may become Imelda and push into the Carolinas. How far north that precipitation gets remains to be seen, but we are keeping it pretty unsettled at least Monday through Tuesday of next week. So we'll have the showers, some tropical-like downpours possible Monday through Tuesday. Temperatures falling into the lower 70s. We could see a few morning showers Wednesday, otherwise much improved. And look at that temperature by next Thursday under mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid to upper 60s.
Thank you, Chris. Thursday night, leaders from the Roxana Volunteer Fire Company shared details about a $5 million campaign to expand their Station 2 on Route 54. As CoastTV photojournalist Matt Hipsman shows us, some community members think that money should go towards recruitment.
We're having a campaign kickoff in collaboration with the Bethany Fenwick Chamber of Commerce. We're looking to upgrade our new station on the 54 corridor to increase response times and services to the residents.
They're pretty far away from the ocean front, so if anything ever happens there, it takes some time for them to get there. So, and unless Ocean City or South or Bethany is going to cover it, there's really a gap. I do believe there's got to be some type of substations at least manned during busy season to help out.
We just have a smaller station that can't house any of our employees, or if we have a storm or anything, we can't man that station. So it's needed in that aspect. And the cost of building is just continuing to rise regardless of if you're building a house or a commercial building.
Just because we have adequate funds at this time does not mean that we don't need it down the road.
Anything we can do to assist them in raising $5 million, the capital that's required to build a new fire company close to Fenwick Island, I would support that. With that being said, we also need to support and create new programs. We've got to get good programs in not just Roxana, but throughout the state of Delaware. Programs about recruiting, retention, and also raising of the money. And I highly suggest, actually, if we are a true volunteer company, I would suggest we actually create a program and start it in the high schools.
So the facet study is showing sustainability. We are nearing the top of that for Sussex County, which is a good thing, meaning that we've been responsible and that we're not going to go anywhere, and we're going to do the right thing.
And coming up, your cool things to do this weekend. We have a great lineup of food festivals, annual traditions, and musical events, so stay tuned.
Across Delmarva, veterans had a chance to find their next job this week. A job fair and resource event was held at American Legion Walter L. Fox Post 2 in Dover. On hand were employers for industries like hospitality, healthcare, and law enforcement. The Department of Labor, which organized the event, says it's important for veterans to catch back up to the current labor market.
Once they come back from surveying, maybe their skill sets don't align with the current markets that we have right now. And a lot of times they should, and they train them well, but at the same time, the job market is continuously rising and changing, and it's developing at a quick and fast pace. So what we try to do is help them get caught up and provide them with opportunities to kind of get back into the workforce here in the country.
And the Department of Labor says most veterans are just looking for the tools to get themselves back to feeling a sense of independence. And Chris, it has been a pretty good week for the beach and the pool, shockingly, because it is fall now. And I'm thinking today is looking like the same if people want to head to the beach on a Friday.
Yeah, you know, it's going to improve. We're dealing with some rain across parts of Delmarva this morning, but we are expecting skies to clear through the afternoon. We're going to rebound pretty nicely. Pretty dry right now, but quite damp throughout most of Delmarva. We're at 70 right now in Lewis, dew point 69. Winds are pretty calm, but we are seeing some showers, primarily southern portions of the peninsula. So waking up to some showers, Ocean City, Fenwick Island, but improving through noon time. Looking at temperatures rising into the upper 70s this afternoon. Could see some of those showers make their way into Lewis and Rehoboth along the Delaware coast through the morning. Otherwise, we gradually clear through the afternoon. A pretty nice afternoon with winds out of the northwest, about 5 to 10. Cambridge waking up to some clouds and showers, 78 to lower 80s this afternoon. Crisfield seeing the rain right now, but we are going to be much more improved through the midday time frame. George Pribalek of Milton, Delaware, you're the winner of our weather umbrella. Congratulations there. And you get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert weather phone. Coming up, we'll have that all-important weekend forecast and have a look at the tropics. We have a new hurricane in the Atlantic Basin. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Well, it looks like it's going to be one of those weekends where you wish you could be in two places at once, whether you're hungry, curious, or ready for some fun. Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
Well, you might want to get your calendar ready because we have a lot to choose from this weekend. You can eat, you can learn, even exercise in a cool way here on Delmarva. The Tanger Outlets in Rehoboth Beach will be full of food for the Foodies Food and Culture Festival Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a big event. More than 40 food trucks and about 60 local artisans will be there, plus admission is free. In Lewis, it's the first and only book festival in the country devoted to history. The 9th annual History Book Festival runs all weekend in the city's historic district. Also in Lewis, it's annual Johnny Walker Beach Day Saturday starting at 10:30 a.m. The annual program highlights the beach's role during segregation and Johnny Walker's legacy in Lewis. Salisbury is gearing up for a major fall tradition Saturday, the Seagull Century Bike Ride. It's now in its 37th year, and the Seagull Century cyclists will pass by beautiful coastal vistas, farmlands, and historic towns on Delmarva. Get ready, Ocean City! The Ocean's Calling Music Festival is back this weekend with thousands of fans, headliners like Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day, and really it's music for every taste. The Crooked Hammock Brewery's Crooktoberfest is running until October 13th with cookout-style specials, some German flair, and fresh fall beers.
I'm most excited about the two specific beer offerings that we have releasing for this promotional event. One of them is our Crooktoberfest lager, which is a traditional Märzen or amber lager that you would expect to see in the fest tents.
Sounds delicious, and you can find all event details, tickets, and more for everything we just told you about over on CoastTV.com. Just click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Audit sparks alarm. Why a Slaughter Beach Fire Company's records raise serious red flags. Bypass complete. A look at the $140 million project aimed at easing Millsboro traffic. Ocean's Calling returns. Big crowds, live music, and beachside vibes hit Ocean City this weekend.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Damp, muggy start. Seeing a last batch of showers push through the southern portion of the peninsula. We are looking at drier conditions this afternoon, but an unsettled weekend. I'll have details next.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour, and it is 5:30. On this Friday morning, it's a busy weekend on the coast. We have Oceans Calling Music Festival, which will kick off today. We'll have more details on that. But also, it is Friday night high school football, so we're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. Chris, you are the man to talk to about the forecast for Friday and the weekend.
Yeah, you know, we're looking a bit ominous right now this morning. Some of us waking up to some rain, but we are going to be improving through the morning and afternoon. You can see that rain really extending from the southern portion of the peninsula, from the Delaware-Maryland border down through Salisbury, Ocean City, seeing some light rain. This is all light to moderate rainfall extending into Crisfield. The heaviest rain is really from Chincoteague on southward. A pretty good thunderstorm there pushing through Cape Charles, and this is all pushing off the coast into the Atlantic, and we're drying out. We have high pressure building in behind this front, and this front's going to stall out just to our south over the weekend. Some patchy fog possible with the moisture on the ground and those muggy conditions. You can see the wet roads, the rain falling there in Salisbury, 72 degrees, and we'll have the showers at least through the early part of the morning, and then we will gradually be improving late this morning through the early afternoon. 73 Rehoboth. We are at 71 in Laurel. Dew points, as I mentioned, still feeling quite tropical out there this morning. Pretty dry there in Milford. So we're going to be improving by the afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds, a rather dreary, cloudy weekend ahead with a period of rain late Saturday through early Sunday. And all eyes are on the tropics because we could be dealing with some tropical moisture early next week. We have a newly named hurricane in the basin. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full 7-day forecast. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this half hour concerns over how a fire company in Slaughter Beach handled its money. A state performance audit found that the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company did not follow certain policies, kept poor expense records, and lacked strong oversight. And the review covered 2021 through 2023, a period when state officials say the company received more than $2.6 million in state funds. Fire Chief Kent Glasgow told CoastTV the issues began under previous leadership and that corrective actions have already been taken to improve transparency and strengthen financial integrity. This just in, the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says current leadership has already enforced several changes. According to a new statement from the agency, some of the changes include hiring an independent accounting firm to manage payroll and more, mandating supporting paperwork and review of all major expenses, and more oversight on the annual budget. The Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says, quote, "These changes ensure the MVFC remains accountable to our community, our members, and our funding partners," end quote. On your screen now is the North Millsboro bypass. DelDOT held a ribbon cutting on Monday, but rain delayed the opening of the roadway until Thursday night. The bypass stretches over the Millsboro Pond and has 4 bridges. Construction on this massive project lasted just over 2 years, with a cost reaching past $140 million. DelDOT says this will ease the congestion in downtown Millsboro, and the bypass is expected to fully open this morning. However, according to DelDOT, after the bypass opens, there will still be intermittent lane closures as final road striping is complete. Happening today in Ocean City, the town expects to see around 50,000 people at the big music festival. Today marks the start of Oceans Calling 2025. On your screen now is a look inside the 3-day event. On Thursday, there was still work to be done before gates open. Crews could be seen making final preparations. Town leaders are expecting waves of people, and businesses near the event tell us they're excited for the crowds. New this morning in Dewey Beach, commissioners are expected to choose a new mayor. This according to the agenda for this afternoon's town council meeting. Commissioners are set to vote on appointing the mayor for a 1-year term, followed by a swearing-in ceremony. Also on the agenda, an ordinance to repeal the town's alarm code while keeping false alarm violations a civil offense. There is also a proposal for the Planning and Zoning Commission to look at setting a mandatory minimum number of trees required for new construction projects. New overnight in Texas, Camp Mystic says it's planning to partially reopen next summer after devastating flooding killed 27 campers and counselors in early July. But as NBC's Priscilla Thompson shows us, some of the victims' parents who successfully advocated for a new camp safety law in the state are not happy about it.
This morning, Camp Mystic in Texas announcing plans to reopen next summer. It comes after 27 young campers and counselors tragically died at the girls' summer camp on July 4th during catastrophic flooding in the region. Families of the victims receiving an email shared with NBC News by a source close to them that reads in part, "Our planning and procedures will comply with the requirements of the camp safety you bravely championed." Camp Mystic also writing it plans to build a memorial to capture the beauty, kindness, and grace of the girls that died. 9-year-old Lila Bonner was killed in the flood. Her father, Blake, telling the New York Times the families of the deceased Camp Mystic campers and counselors were not consulted about and did not approve this memorial. The mother of 8-year-old Seal Stewart, who is still missing, saying, quote, "Camp Mystic is pressing ahead with reopening, even if it means inviting girls to swim in the same river that may potentially still hold my daughter's body." The parents of 7 of the girls, known as Heavens 27, speaking to our Jenna Bush Hager earlier this month.
It became very, very clear that this wasn't an accident, this was complacency, and it is 100% preventable.
Through their efforts, the Texas governor has signed 3 new bills into law. Among the new rules, preventing cabins in dangerous areas of flood zones and requiring all camps in Texas to have updated emergency and evacuation plans. Ahead of the signing of the legislation, 9-year-old Molly DeWitt's parents telling Today the goal was to get the safety regulations in place before next summer.
What's being laid out in this bill should be the bare minimum for what these camps should be looking to implement.
We're just getting started this morning on Coast TV News Today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, seeking support for new school, we'll tell you how Delmarva locals are reacting to a possible referendum. And Gunston Volleyball is looking to stay undefeated. We'll show you the highlights from a showdown with Worcester Prep. An abrupt business closing, what this popular restaurant chain says about its future after shutting down all locations. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Well, we made it. Friday is upon us, and so is some rain across parts of Delmarva this morning, waking up to some tropical-like air as well. 69 in Milford. Not seeing much in the way of rain there. It's primarily from the Delaware-Maryland border on southward. Some light to moderate rainfall. You can see some moderate pockets there moving through Smith Island and Crisfield. Heaviest rain is south of Chickentee. Actually, a pretty good thunderstorm there pushing off the coast near Cape Charles. A lot of lightning associated with that, but this cold front is going to be sagging southward through the day today, and we are going to be improving through the afternoon. We're at 73 Bethany, 70 Milton to 70 in Bridgeville. So we're dealing with the rain this morning, improving by the afternoon. Temperatures rising upper 70s to lower 80s across the coast. We're hoping at Dewey Beach, and we're looking at a pretty decent afternoon, but rather unsettled weekend ahead. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Salisbury is gearing up for a major fall tradition this weekend, the Seagull Century Bike Ride. The city says the cycling event is organized by Salisbury University. Bicyclists will take off tomorrow, September 27th. And to keep riders safe, Bateman Street will be closed between Route 13 and South Division Street. Temporary restrictions will also be in place along South Division Street at Avery Street and between Francis Drive and Milford Street. The Delaware-born Iron Hill Brewery and restaurant chain abruptly closed all locations. This came as a shock to both the public and its employees. The company took to social media to thank its customers for their support, quote, support, friendship, and loyalty over the years. While no reason was provided for the closing, Iron Hill says it hopes to make a return in the future.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. We had all the fall sports in action across the peninsula on Thursday, so let me take you to the volleyball court for a little hard-hitting action. Gunston started the day 9-0, and of course they'd look to make it 10 with a win over Worcester Prep, and they'll definitely do it with kills like this from Addison Coldwell. Gets the first one. Then later in the set, the Mallards of Worcester respond with this great save by Madison Andrews, and Sophie Nguyen gets the kill. But then Gunston would start to pull away in the first set, in part thanks to this ace from Scotia Hopper. The Herons win the first set 25-16. And in the second set, another save by Andrews eventually leads to this kill by Kaylee Atkins. But later in the second set, Gunston begins to take control as again Hopper serves up her second of 2 straight aces for the Herons. But the Mallards, they fought back a little bit, but they could not control this hit from Caldwell, and Gunston wins the second set 25-21. Third set now, Caldwell hits a ball that goes just over the net and falls for the Herons. And then Gunston really started to run away with this third set as Allie Merkel serves up the ace. And the Mallards, they would try their hardest to fight back. This save by Merkel leads to Olivia Labrador getting it over the net, but the Mallards, they can't control it. Gunston wins the third set 25-21 and gets a 3-0 sweep on the day. Gunston Volleyball improves to 10-0 with the win for their season. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And it's Friday Night Lights on the Delmarva Sports Network. Here's what's coming up tonight. We start up at 5 p.m. with Down and Distance. Then at 5:30 it's Scoops and Scores. And you can catch the game of the night live at 6 p.m. Y High takes on Cambridge South Dorchester in high school football. Then at 9:30, Pro Foot Volleyball. At 10:30, it's Matt Pensick's favorite show, Nittany Game Week. And then at 11, you can catch the final score. And along with that game of the night, there's even more high school football action to expect today on DSN+. At 5 o'clock, Stephen Decatur visits Queen Anne's County. At 6 o'clock, North Carolina faces Easton. At 7, Laurel hosts Seaford. Also at 7, Cape Henlopen hosts Hodgson Votech. And fall isn't just for football, it's also for marching band. The Delmarva Sports Network will cover 6 marching band competitions featuring over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. These competitions will stream exclusively on DSN+. The next one is scheduled for tomorrow. And it's week 4 in the NFL regular season, and we have Sunday Night Football right here on CoastTV. The Green Bay Packers are in Texas facing the Dallas Cowboys. Coverage begins at 7, and then stay right here for CoastTV News following the game. And we are once again gearing up for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Draper Media works to make the holiday season brighter for children on Delmarva. The money raised goes to charitable groups who then buy Christmas presents. Right now, we are accepting funding applications from those nonprofits through October 1st. You can find a link at blessourchildren.org. And if you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, we're dealing with some showers across the southern portion of the peninsula this morning, but much improved late this morning through the early afternoon. And it's going to be a pretty decent day with temperatures rising upper 70s to lower 80s, but I'm tracking more rain over the weekend and then potentially some tropical moisture into early next week. I'll break it all down in my full 7-day forecast right after the break.
Now 5:50, and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury on this Friday morning. Chris, yesterday we dealt with some rainy weather. Today you said be patient, it's going to get better as the day goes on.
Yeah, some of us are waking up to some rain, especially from Salisbury on southward. There's some rain beginning to creep up the coast here. A very light weakening. The heaviest rain you could see is to the south, but some damp conditions along Coastal Highway this morning through Salisbury, Golf Club shores. The heaviest rain you could see down through just to the south of Chicotee. We had a pretty good thunderstorm there to pass through Cape Charles, but this is beginning to push off the coast. Drier air is slowly beginning to filter in behind this front that's going to stall out to the south of our area through the weekend. So we're holding at 73, Lewis 72, Dagsboro 71, Laurel. You see winds more out of the west, pretty calm, but we'll see those winds shift out of the northwest as that front passes through. Quite tropical out there this morning too, with the moisture on the ground and a lot of moisture in the air. And we're going to see that tropical-like air hang on at least through Monday, Tuesday of next week, and then we see a nice autumn-like air mass move in next week. So the rain will be clearing out this morning. Skies clearing, partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Pleasant evening. Falling into the lower 70s, we'll see mostly cloudy skies overnight, setting the stage for some rain late Saturday. Highs today, 82 Milford, 80 Laurel, 81 Cambridge to 81 Vienna, 80 Salisbury to 77 in Chincoteague. So this evening, heading out to games, looking pretty good. We'll see a mix of clouds and stars, temperatures falling 75 to 69. Rain chances really ramp up Saturday night through really Sunday morning as we deal with moisture pulling up from the south. Area of low pressure over the Carolinas. You could see even a rumble of thunder. So pretty rainy night there at Oceans Calling Saturday night, but we get the rain out of here Sunday. A lot of clouds. Some spotty showers and dreary conditions into Sunday. Not a complete washout of a weekend. It's really Saturday into Sunday. We have a new hurricane, Umberto, sustained winds 75 miles an hour. This is going to be pushing to the west and then eventually curving northward and then northeastward. Major hurricane by early next week. We're keeping a close eye on this area of low pressure across the Caribbean. This will likely become Imelda and could impact our weather early next week, kicking up some tropical moisture. Still a lot of question marks as to how far north that precipitation is going to make it. But we stay unsettled early part of next week with some tropical-like downpours possible into Tuesday. Some lingering showers Wednesday, but we clear out pretty nicely late next week with some nice autumn-like air returning. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Across Delmarva, higher taxes could be coming to property owners in Delmar, Delaware. The school district is planning a referendum for next year. District leaders tell us they need more money to build a new intermediate school, and a referendum would allow them to do that and raise money for other needs. But this will ultimately be up to Delmar, Delaware voters. Some neighbors we spoke with say they would support the tax increase, and while one parent we talked to says he would be against it, he does have a few ideas of where any extra money could be spent.
Like to see more kids get a better education and worried about the sports and stuff like that. I just feel like that's where everything goes towards is that.
Delmar School District leaders could not tell us yet how much taxes would go up, but they say they should soon have more answers. And the time is now 5:54, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet of the day, coming to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA, is Cyrus. Cyrus is a sweet and playful guy. He is filled to the brim with love and ready to share it with his new forever family. If you want to adopt Cyrus or any other lovable pet, all you have to do is head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen, scan the QR code at the top of your screen, and submit your furry friend to CoastTV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. It is 5:57, and we are going to take another look at our Friday forecast. Chris, you are telling us it's going to get better, so just stay patient. We've got a lot of plans this weekend on the coast.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. Tropical-like feel stepping outside the door this morning, and we're dealing with some rain, especially the southern portion of the peninsula. Some moderate to heavier rainfall pushing from Taylor's Island into Crisfield and Chicotee. The heaviest thunderstorms are through portions of southern Accomack County, but this is pushing off the coast here over the next few hours and will begin to dry out. And temperatures rebound this afternoon. Lower 80s under a mix of sun and clouds. We stay dry through tonight, watching late Saturday through Sunday for a period of rain, and then we're going to stay pretty unsettled until at least the start of next week with some potential tropical moisture working into the area. But the good news is behind that, we dry out, high pressure builds in, and we're looking at a nice autumn-like stretch of weather there late next week.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up at 6, alarming audit. A Slaughter Beach Fire Company is called out for policy violations, questionable spending, and little oversight.